guys, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the channel. Headed out to the 110 SAS range today. We're going to be kicking it back a little old school, a retro throwback vintage M16A1. Now throughout my life, I've always liked vintage firearms, especially old shotguns and rifles. Now this rifle here is definitely a change in pace from the typical gun I feature on the channel, but in my opinion, just as rad. Now what really inspired me to do this particular review was a Vietnam veteran I had the pleasure of sitting down with and talking about his service as a Marine rifleman in the Vietnam War. His name was Bill Hancock Jr. He carried an M16A1 similar to this here, numerous patrols and missions throughout the jungles of Vietnam. Now my goal was to recreate the gun that he carried to the best of my ability. I thought, why not feature that gun when it started, the M16 family, on my channel. So let's talk about a little bit about the rifle here, guys. Now trying to search and hunt down an original M16A1 surplus up at a reasonable price is getting pretty damn hard, but it's not impossible. Now starting with the actual A1 upper receiver here, this one is a Colt military surplus receiver, CH marked by the carry handle, Colt original teardrop forward assist, Colt gray charging handle. Move to the bolt carrier group, Colt C marked bolt carrier, an ejection port cover here. Handguard, buttstock, and grip are all period correct. Bakelite and fiberglass. Barrel and gas block, flash hider are all Colt surplus parts. Original M16A1 uppers are out there. They're getting a little bit harder to find. You're going to start paying a little bit extra money for them right now, especially over the last few years. But like I said, it's not impossible to find them. Now, move to the lower receiver. I find this is kind of one of the hardest parts to replicate, for any sort of clone rifle, especially like a Vietnam era one. Now, unfortunately, you can't go to your local gun store and order an original M16A1 lower receiver, so we have to make do with what's available to us, thanks to our awesome political leaders. Bullshit! So this one here is a Brownell's BRM 16A1, assembled with original Colt lower parts kit. Brownells make some excellent lowers, especially for the money. I think the guys at Brownells do a very good job, especially with matching the original Colt gray finish to the upper receiver, what the clone correct ones are. Now guys, this isn't a perfect clone correct rifle for what's, available today. I find it to be very, very good. It's original surplus receiver. The patina is absolutely outstanding on the rifle. The charging handle, the forward assist. I mean, you can tell this rifle was well used, well loved at some point. And I think it just makes for a super sexy rifle. But listen, we've talked enough about it. Let's take it out the range. Let's get that barrel hot. Let's go slap some steel and see what we can do. just one question. Do you find yourself wanting an M16A1 clone now? If that answer ain't a resounding yes, that gun made me feel some kind of way, then go ahead and rewind to the beginning, because this gun's a fucking riot. Now, it's straight iron sights like a fucking pilgrim, but I think that's what makes the gun more fun. Now, let's be real, iron sights are an absolute waste of valuable rail space, and you need an optic on your modern era AR-15. But there's just something about taking out an original vintage rifle and just putting it to work. Now, there's a serious learning curve running a rifle or carbine without an LPVO or some kind of optic. I found myself struggling at times between splits and transitions and, fighting for a good sight picture. It felt like a legitimate handicap running strictly the iron sights that the A1 has to offer. Shooting weapons with both eyes open I found to be incredibly more difficult than a modern LPVO, like on base magnification. The gun itself did perform flawlessly. I mean, it's super smooth, incredibly light, and soft shooting. So, guys, that's a wrap. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, share, and as always, thanks for watching. And if you have a recommendation, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We'll see what we can do. Thanks.